Sai'vion, how has the extra week helped for preparation-wise?
It just give us some extra time to prepare, something that they don't have. They just came fresh off a game, so they ain't like got the freshness to be able to have an extra practice and stuff like that.
Looking back at last year's game, right? Obviously, it was a track meet to some degree. How much do you feel like this year's defense is better equipped to go in and play a different style of game this time?
I definitely feel like this year we getting put in much better positions in order to stop certain things. So I feel like compared to last year, it's just gonna be like a huge step up going against them.
Coach Kelly said earlier this week the other games were exciting, but this one kind of goes up a notch or two. Do you feel that way? A home game at night, Ole Miss, can be packed.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way, especially I'm sure all the fans know that we out for revenge and, what happened to us last year, how they stormed the field and stuff like that. So I feel like not only just the players, but like the fans are excited to have that rematch.
How improved do you think this defense is from a year ago when you gave up, 55 points over there?
I feel like it was a lot more improved. The main thing I just see is just way more confidence and trust in each other.
Kind of keeping on that theme, Coach Kelly talked about the idea of maybe last year trying to do a lot. Do you feel like what they're asking you to do now is a little bit more in your wheelhouse, a little bit more accomplishable, like something that you guys can actually go out on and kind of understand, play with your cleats in the ground, like he likes to say, and really attack?
Well, what I feel like is that we're more prepared to handle that kind of stuff. So, I wouldn't say it's less to think of. It's easier to think of.
Coach Kelly said that one key to the game would be playing complementary football and balancing both sides of the ball. What does the defense specifically need to do to make that happen so that the offense can execute their game plan?
Like you said, complementary football, if the offense go down and, they push the ball down, which they go do, go ahead and score, we got to play complementary football. So we can't give up a touchdown and put the offense back on the field. We need to stop them from scoring in order to put the offense back on the field so they could score again.
What do you guys think you're doing? What do you think the defense is doing better this year than they have in the past?
Like I said earlier, I just feel like it's much more communication. You see a lot more people talking, just telling each other what we see and stuff like that, and, like alerting certain plays. So the two main things I say is just definitely they're smarter to the game. So, more film and more communication.
What do you see in Jackson Dart as a quarterback and his ability to run? He's not a every down runner, but he is the guy that they'll call designed runs for.
Right. He's definitely, a person that we can't take lightly. Like you said, he can run when he wants to. So we definitely, that's something we can't take for granted. We can't just do passive rushes that keep him in the cage, but we definitely got to rush knowing what he could do.
Yeah, kind of going off that, you guys are obviously very familiar with Ole Miss, but what else do you see from them on film?
The main thing that comes to me is just their ability to get back on the ball and snap the ball again. So, one of the main things we've been working on is just being able to find our spots and get to that spot and get the call as fast as we can and line up.
What can you say about your interior defensive linemen and some of these guys like Ahmad Bro who have, we weren't talking a whole lot about maybe before the year and who have now emerged to be good players?
Once we lost Jacoby and Guillory, the main thing I saw from the D-tackle room was, they didn't let them down. I see more people stepping up, trying to take that role that Tank had, being the lead on the D-tackle, and I see a couple people starting to, try to embrace that role.
And the importance of coaching, too. Bo Davis, what have you seen out of him, how much he's improved these guys since he got here?
The main thing I see from Coach Bo is just his passion when he goes to coaching. You see him yelling all the time, and that's just to me, that just goes to show how serious he is and how much he's willing to come out here and work to try to get us better.
Why do you think you've been able to get as loose as you have? I mean, you've been affecting the quarterback, just getting after it. A lot of talk about Coach Peoples and what he's kind of brought to the table, but what is it, I guess, that's maybe he's triggered in you?
Well, besides the main points, like, getting better in the offseason, coaching like that, I feel like one of the main things that allowed me to play at a higher level than I was last year is just having that confidence in me going out on the field.
Can you explain, what's giving you that confidence, or is it just the production's leading to the confidence?
Well, I feel like what's giving me that confidence is, back in the spring and like that, going up against Will and Emery all the time, just going against them every day slowly built that confidence back up, and then all I needed was that one game to realize how good I could be.
Job with the last one.
You and Swinson, do you kind of take pride in being this combo from both edges and being a duo that gets to the quarterback?
Oh, yeah, we the top duo in the country, definitely.
How was the week off?
It was pretty good. It wasn't like a regular bye week. We still were getting after it every day. So it was a good week. We got better, I think, as a whole team. So it was good.
What did you specifically want to look at during the off week to kind of improve your game?
Just improving on little things like hand placement, making sure my eyes are right, communication, just small things. Nothing really in particular. Just trying to get better in every facet.
Last year, when you look back at the tape, tackling was an issue, right?
Yeah.
Against South Alabama, I thought that's one of the things you guys did well, actually.
Yeah.
How important do you feel like it is to improve in that area, and especially in a game like this,
Yeah.
where they get loose and it turns a 10 or
Right.
30?
Yeah, especially in this game, it's definitely going to be a huge thing for us to go out there and execute. We've been working on it every day. We have a great tackling drill we have. It's called Keep the Cup. I think that's a really good drill for us. And I just think we've improved every week in tackling. Ole Miss tries to put you in space, so we just got to go out there and execute.
Coach Kelly talked about all the games have been exciting so far, but this kind of goes to another level. You're playing at home, Ole Miss,
Right.
night packed. How do you feel about going to a game of this excitement level?
Yeah, I'm excited. First not real night game, but SEC opponent night game. So, it'll definitely be a great atmosphere. I was talking to one of the trainers. They was like, they haven't really seen that Tiger Stadium at its peak. I said, you'll see it this week. It's going to be there. But I'm excited, man. Just ready to go out there and play.
Sai'vion talked about them rushing on the field last year.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Kelly's talked about that loss perhaps prevented a playoff spot.
Yep.
And you as a defense, is this kind of hey, this is how much better we are than a year ago?
Yeah, guys, probably you guys on the outside are looking at it like that, but we just looking at it as another team on the schedule. Just continue to get better, continue to improve every week. Ole Miss is just the team we got to play. Last year is last year. I try not to think about last year because it just wasn't a great defensive output of what we put out there every week. So this year we just trying to be a whole new team, whole new defense.
Yeah, to that end, how different are you, right? You know where you were last year, you know
Right.
where you are this year. How much more confident do you feel going into this one?
Oh, I'm very confident. I'm ready to go out there and put on a show for the fans. Just trust the guy next to you, man. As long as we trust each other, I think we'll go out there and put out a good outcome.
You talked about their ability to put you in space. And
Yeah.
They play with tempo.
Yeah.
They do a lot of different things well, I guess. How do you prepare for a team like that? Is it really focusing in on, like you said,
Yeah.
fundamentals, or do you just try to,
Yeah.
every rep it's different?
Yeah, I think every play is different, but I think the main thing is getting your feet in the ground, not trying to having to rush and get set and things like that. Have your feet in the ground and being ready for them, I think, is the main thing. Not looking around, just making sure you're ready and set.
Obviously, you went against Dart last season, but
Yeah.
how are you guys preparing differently this time around?
Yeah, he's a great quarterback. He's a veteran. I played against him for a little bit the last couple of years, so he's a great player. I just think everyone on the defense as a whole just has to do their job and not try to chase plays. If we try to chase plays and do things outside of what we're supposed to do, that's when problems start to happen.
You're interior defensive linemen, and the guys like Ahmad Bro and maybe guys we didn't talk about who have emerged.
Mm-hmm.
How happy about that, and then
Yeah.
the coaching they're getting from Bill Davis as well.
Yeah, I think all those guys, I think the interior D-line has really improved since game one. Really since fall camp, I've seen those guys grow. Coach Bo is probably the best in the business. I love seeing him coach. I try to listen to the things he says to the D-line, just his coaching points and things like that. He's really a great coach, and I think those guys have grown. Ahmad in particular, and Big Dom is starting to show flashes. So it's exciting to see those guys continue to take next steps.
Big dump. The extra week with the work with the Weeks brothers, I guess
Yeah.
you kind of talked about knowing it and seeing it. How
Yeah.
much did that help kind of give you all comfort of, trusting?
Yeah, really good. I mean, we watch a lot of film together. I've been playing with those guys with 1 year, but Wes, since he transferred here, 2 years. So, I'm comfortable with them. We know our strengths and weaknesses. So, just going out there and trusting what we see and allowing each of us to play fast.
A couple more if we got them, guys.
Just excited. This is your chance, to kind of show people.
Yeah,
right?
I'm ready to play right now. I'm just ready to go, honestly.
What about Nuss in a game like this?
Yeah.
He's done a really good job so far, and this is kind of the next big step
big
for
game.
him and
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited for Nuss. He's a gamer. I think in big games, that's when he plays his best, honestly. So I'm excited to go out there and see him play. I have confidence in him and the whole offense.
Thank you, guys. Get this off of you, and then.
Yeah, I watched.
Mason, you're no stranger to big games. I guess just how do you like to approach what is expected to be a big game atmosphere?
Yeah, I think just like any other week, we did a great job preparing last week in our bye week, getting better as a team and a unit. And this week's been great. Started off practicing on Monday, had a little bonus day, and we're in good hands. And we like games like this, and we love to play them in Tiger Stadium.
You guys are doing so much well right now. Is it just about refining it, or do you really want to add to the resume and maybe add some things in that people haven't seen you do so far this year?
Yeah, I think pretty much it's simple. The things we've been doing is good. We just got to fix those little things, and we put everything on tape, really. It's just about perfecting it and executing to the best of our abilities.
Last year, you guys scored a lot of points over there, but it was a loss, and Coach Kelly's talked about it maybe kept you out of a playoff spot and some other things. Sai'vion talked about them running onto the field. Do you have any memories of last year and how that impacts this year's game?
Yeah, of course we remember last year, but it's a new year, new season, so we're focused on this week and Saturday night. So as long as we go out there and execute, and when offense has opportunities, go out there and score.
What about Nuss leading you into a game like this and the way he's played so far this year?
Yeah, he's made us a lot more confident, and he's pushing us every day in practice, and is getting us ready to play this game. And I think you could tell just our communication as an offense is getting better every single week, and all those little things are coming together.
Yeah, do you feel like the offensive line is ready to show people kind of what they're capable of? They've had some moments, right, and had some penalties, some things that maybe you could clean up in a bye week. Do you feel like that's where you guys are at?
Yeah, just those little mental errors, that's all. And I think they have a great defensive line, and it's going to be a true challenge. So, I think our offensive line is great, and they're up for the challenge for sure.
We've seen that Ole Miss has some firepower in their offense. What do y'all want to highlight as y'all's strengths in y'all's offense?
I think we have everything we can do, our run game, our pass game. I think just being balanced and just being where the defense doesn't know what we're going to do. If they want to stuff the box, we could throw it deep. If they want to drop 8, we can run the ball. So as long as we do what we're coached to do, our play caller, Coach Stallone, is going to do amazing calling these plays.
Do you ever look around college football and see what other coaches are doing with their offense and be like, oh, that's cool, I wish we could do some of that? Or is it really you got a limited amount of time and you're focused on what you're doing?
Yeah, I think we're kind of focused on what we're doing as an offense. But, you see some plays that some people run and be like, oh, that's clever, and some people copycat off of some other teams. But I think what we're doing as an offense has been great, and as long as we perfect those things and get those things right to the little details, we'll be great.
Coach Kelly talked about how much they've improved defensively. What do you see from their defense from a year ago to now?
Yeah, I think they've improved. every single week you could see that it's getting better and better, and they're starting to click on all these little things. And I think in practice, just the competitiveness has gone up every single week, and we push each other to get better every single day as an offense and as a defense.
With a game like this, has heavy SEC implications, playoff implications. How much does practice change intensity-wise, the locker room, attitudes, everything bumped up a few notches, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, in the SEC, every single week is going to be a hard game. So I think it's just one of those things that we're up for the challenge, and I think it's the best opportunity to play it in Tiger Stadium. Our fans get to help us out, be there and be loud, and it's going to help us. So just heading into the game with a bunch of confidence because of that.
Do you feel that? Like, around Thursday, Friday, you start to feel the juice kind of
Yeah.
around campus? And,
for
what's
sure.
that like as a player?
I mean, exactly. Like I just said, I mean, it helps us a lot for our fans to show up and for it to be loud for the defense and their offense. I mean, it just helps. It's a game changer because when we're on the road as an offense, I can tell you, when it's loud, it's hard to play in. So if our fans show up like they do every game, I mean, it's going to be helpful for us. So.
We see some flashes of Trades Green, a true freshman. He scored a touchdown. In a few years, what are the Tigers going to get, or even next year, from him?
Yeah, I mean he's tremendous. He's getting better every single week, and it shows. I mean, in practice we're doing more 12 personnel because we trust the tight ends more, and that's with Pimp and Trades' improvement. So as long as we keep doing that, we'll definitely have more opportunities down the road.
Garrett, Coach talked about at the beginning of the season, all the games were exciting, but things kind of go up another notch this week. The Ole Miss night game, packed crowd, all that. How do you feel going into a game like this?
I mean, obviously it's an exciting matchup. Ole Miss is a very good football team, but I think we're focused on ourselves and just executing and just not worrying about the small things and just focusing on that it's another football game. Can't get lost in the hype. You can't get lost in all the extracurriculars. At the end of the day. It's a football game on our schedule, and we're going to have to execute. And obviously, just like any other game, we want to win. So,
I know you didn't play last year, but a lot of your teammates remember that loss. Your coaches talked about what it cost you in terms of maybe a playoff berth and everything. I mean, a lot of times teams say we don't have revenge on our mind, but do you remember last year's game in terms of playing this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes into this is a new team, right? This is a new situation, a new season. Everything's different. So. Like I said before, I think we've done a good job, thus far of not focusing on who we're playing and, thinking about it as like a faceless opponent, I go back to thinking about like high school and you play high school rivalries and thinking about playing a faceless opponent, and things like that. So I think that's kind of the mindset we've taken and, I think hopefully it'll pay off.
What did you see in your self-scout? What'd you like? What you want to change?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things. I won't go into the details about what I went through, but it was a good opportunity last week in the bye week to kind of go through my game the past couple weeks and pick out the negatives and continue to build off the positives. And we also had a good opportunity last week with practice to work on those things. And it was a balance of focusing on ourselves, but also focusing on Ole Miss. And so I think it was really good for us, not just for myself, but for our entire offense in general.
How important are all open dates to kind of hitting the reset button and getting back to some of those fundamental things?
Yeah, I mean, they're awesome. They help a lot just as far as going through, like I said, picking out different things and working on fixing them. And, we were lucky to play 4 or 5 games or whatever it was before the bye. So, we also played, I don't know, was it 3, actual Power 5 opponents. So, we played real football games. We didn't, play a bunch of group of 5s and things like that. We had to play SC and UCLA and South Carolina. We actually were blessed to have a conference game actually before the bye. So, we got a lot on tape, a lot of opportunities to look at what we needed to build on. And so I think it was really good for us.
You talked a lot about your ability to disperse the ball around the different targets, right? How is that? Are you cognizant of like when guys need a touch or, to kind of keep them involved, or is it really just whatever you're getting in the headset you're kind of trying to take to the field?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just try to do my job, just execute the read, execute the play, going through the reads and just giving the ball where it's supposed to go. I don't necessarily focus on, who's where. But, obviously when we have one-on-one opportunities, you give guys a chance to make plays and things like that. But as far as, spreading the ball out, I would say it's more of a focus on just, executing the play that it's called schematically.
You got some extra time to watch film on Ole Miss. What do you see from them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a very good football team, and they're going to challenge us, and it's going to be awesome. games like this excite me. Getting an opportunity to play against a really good football team. And so, like I said, I'm excited. I think we've worked really hard at the details and focusing on the right things, and so hopefully it'll pay off.
Speaking of guys that do it the right way, C.J. Daniels has yet to get into the end zone. What kind of teammate has he been? Because I'm sure it would be easy for him to pout or complain, right? But it doesn't seem like he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a pro. He approaches every single day like a pro. Never once complains about that. And he's obviously shown what he can do with the ball in his hands. And, he's made plays, and just happens to be that it hasn't been in the end zone yet. But, it'll come because, he has an approach that is elite, and he establishes, a work ethic every single day, like I said, just like a pro. And so, I know eventually it's going to start, moving forward from him, towards the red zone. So.
Specifically, Ole Miss's defense, how much have they improved from last year?
Yeah, they're a really good football team. They're very physical up front. They got a pretty good back end. So, I think we'll have to just focus on doing our jobs and executing. I think that when we do our job and we execute, I think we have a really good football team. And so, I think it's exciting to see. We have a really good defense and really good offense. And so, it'll be a good matchup, good test for us, and I'm excited.
Having the game at home, this is one of those games where people look at, okay, the crowd could make a difference in a game like this. You think that? Or
I think anytime we play at night here, the crowd can make a difference. This is the most electric atmosphere in all of college football. And so, we have the greatest fans in the world, and it definitely helps for us. But also it's our job to give them something to cheer about. So it's our job to set the tone and get that stadium going. And, we know if we can do a good job of making plays and getting that stadium excited that, they're going to make enough noise to have an impact as well.
I'm thinking with this defense, protection will obviously be important with the backs and the tight ends. So is communication become even more of a focal point in a game like this?
Yeah, I think communication is huge at any game. Just focusing on making sure we're ID'd right and sliding to the right people. And, yeah, they're very good up front. And so, that's definitely been a focus of communicating and making sure we're IDing things the right way. But it's just the same as any week. So.
Does anybody have I don't want to hog it. Does Joe script plays for you? Do you have like an opening drive script?
Every coach, I would say, has an opening script going into a football game. So,
do you like working off of the script? Obviously you have input into the script. I'm just wondering, you seem a little bit more freelance than some guys that you're kind of more aware of what they're trying to do to you. Do you feel like I'm just as good on script as off script?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think Coach Sloan's really good with his ability to see something when we're in our opening script and come out of it and come off of it to attack something else. And so, I have no preference whether it's on the script or off the script. I think we do a good job in practice of repping everything through versus different looks. And so, going into the game, I feel fully prepared. And I think the coaches do a really good job of that, not just with me, but with all the positions up front and even the guys outside. So, I wouldn't say there's a preference there, and I think Coach Sloan does a really good job on that.